Hey, y'all, welcome back. It is Thursday, so y'all know what that means. It is time for the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 304. My name is Jason. I'm the owner of Outdoor Legacy, co-host of the show. But as always, I've got my co-host Hans with me. And guys, 304 is going to be another big review. We're in the review season. Hans, I'm excited about today's show.
Yeah, so we've got a monocular. This is the first time we've done a monocular in a little while. This is the first thermal monocular review of the year for us. This is the InfiRay Outdoor Finder FH35R V2. Not to
Can
be
you add
confused
some more
with
numbers and letters and
I
things to
know.
that for me? I need some more.
Not to
It's
be
not enough.
not to be confused with the V1. This is the V2, y'all. So I mean, there's many people out there that didn't even know that there was a V1 of this unit. But this is I would tell you, when coming out of SHOT Show, we knew, you kind of know, I hate to say you know what the winners are, but you know instantly what people are interested in. They're talking about it on social media. They're calling you. They're asking questions about it. They're pre-ordering it. This one, as far as handheld binoculars, by far in that area, in that space, created the most talk, the most chatter, and the most pre-sales and sales since SHOT Show, since a month ago. This Finder, I think you even said it. You said it somewhere. This is kind of thrown the handheld market kind of in a disarray or chaos,
Yeah, I want to talk
just
about
because
that
of the
a little
price.
bit more. Yeah, kind of down here in our overall thoughts. One thing that I want to bring up, you were joking about it, and it's true, and I guess we need to go ahead and talk about it, is you mentioned some people didn't know there was a V1. Some of those people are the two guys that are hosting this show because
You're not supposed to say that, man.
Yeah,
You're not
I
supposed to
know,
say-
yeah.
We know
So,
it all. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we know it all. Trust us. Yeah. No, we don't know much, guys. We'll tell you that. Yeah. No, there was a V1. It was not in the United States. So it's not a US model. This is the first one that InfiRay Outdoor has brought to the United States. So that is, so people say, how's it compared to the V1? Don't know. Doesn't matter.
They have
You
no
can't
clue.
get that here. It did not exist in the United States market. So this is the first finder they've brought. And I'm going to tell you, you know what? No, I got some more thoughts. I don't want to say this now. Let's roll into this review. You guys did not come here just to see our beautiful faces. I mean, I know a lot of ladies do, I'm sure, but we're.
Jeez, here we go.
I know this.
You're gonna
I'm
get me
sorry.
kicked off this show. My wife's about ready to kick me off this show.
Your
so.
your wife, you've been married a long time, and she knows that there is no other ladies coming to look at you on this show.
Exactly.
Trust me,
Yeah,
me and you both.
She is
buddy.
safe. She's safe.
She is safe, and she knows it. That's why I can joke about it. If me and you were, handsome and whatever, that might be one thing, but we're safe.
We're
All
in the right end. We are in the right industry. I'll say that.
That's
'cause,
right. That's right.
We've got a face for it.
We have a face for radio. That's right. So, all right, guys. So listen, let's jump into the specs on this thing and let's talk about it. All right. Again, Hans already mentioned it. It is the FH35R V2 Finder from InfiRay Outdoor, distributed in the United States by InfiRay USA. And I'm going to go ahead. I always forget about this, so I'm going to do this at the beginning. Two things. One, the price. It's $2,499. We're going to be talking a lot more about the price. That's going to keep coming up because that's a big deal. The price is really, really good on this. The other thing I want to talk about is the InfiRay USA warranty. This is something that they're kind of famous for. They really busted on the scene a few years ago when they really hit the U.S. market with this 5-year warranty. But they're also giving you a 5 business day turnaround time. So from the time they receive your optic back, if there is a problem, an issue, a repair, something needs to be done, they've got 5 full business days to look at that optic. And then per their own policy, they'll either replace it or repair it and then get it shipped back out to you. So granted, there's shipping time and all that involved, but no one else in the industry is making a commitment to shoot for 5 days. They're doing that. That's a big deal. So 5-year warranty, 5-day policy once they get the unit. I really like that. Again, for $24.99, it's a really, really good deal. So let's talk about this Finder. It is a 640 by 512 thermal resolution, 12 microns, 50 hertz refresh rate with a sub 25 millikelvin NETD rating. What does that mean? That means it's a high resolution unit with that's very sensitive, and it has got a 35 millimeter lens with, this is a big deal they're making in some of their literature, InfiRay Outdoor, is that it's a point, it's an .9 f-stop. So a .9, normally like an f1.0 is a really fast lens. This is a .9. And essentially what the gurus are telling us is that's just allowing, the image to be even better, sharper, crisper, clear. So we always like that. A 2-power base magnification. Hans, this is a big deal for me and you. We're big fans of 2-power handhelds. 2.5 is okay. It's a little more than we need. We can make it work. 3 for us, for the way we hunt, is way too much. 1 is not really enough. 1.5 is okay. We think that 2-power is the sweet spot. So when we see a 2-power optic, we're always going to be intrigued, and we were very, very happy to see that's where this one rolled in. One of the reasons for that, people say, well, why do you really like the 2-power? 2-power is going to give us that field of view that we need. And when we're scanning, we want to be able to make a quick detection. I don't want to sit around and be looking left and right and up and down. If I've got this hitting my mic, little narrow field of view. So with this unit, you're going to get a 66-foot horizontal field of view at 100 yards. That's considered a very wide field of view. Really like that. The unit does have a digital zoom. It can go up 4 times the base mag, which is up to 8-power digital zoom. They say it has a detection range of 1,750 yards, and that's going to be, on something like a man-size object out there. ID range, this is tough. I think it's comfortably 400 plus yards. I think that, larger animals, deer, big hogs, that sort of, it's going to be further than that. But I think coyotes, smaller hogs, I think 400 plus yards is very reasonable for this unit. It's what you'd expect out of a good 640. It does have an AMOLED display screen. It is a 1024 by 768 resolution on the display. It's got all the normal color palettes, but all most people care about is white hot and black hot. It's got those, and then 3 or 4 more red hot and some different things. It does include picture-in-picture, and another big thing for this price point of $2,500, it does include a laser rangefinder built into the unit. They say that that's accurate up to about 800 yards. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you're not going to handhold this thing steady enough at 800 yards. You're going to have to be on a tripod or something like that to get an 800-yard range on an animal. Maybe on a building or something you could do that. Right. But on an animal, you're going to have to hold it a little tighter. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then let's see what else is on my list. It does have audio and video recording. It does have, let's see, it's internal video. I'm sorry, I'm going through my list here. It does have Wi-Fi. You can connect it to the InfiRay Outdoor streaming app. USB-C that you can use for external power and charging. Batteries. All right, guys. It uses the IBP2 battery. This is the same battery that the InfiRay Outdoor cabins use, the little handheld monoculars. They've got some other scopes that use these, but it's the IBP2 battery. Here's a cool thing. It comes with 2 batteries. So you get 2 of these batteries. Hans is going to show what they look like in a minute. You'll just see what they look like. Those batteries, if you want to buy more in the future, they're about $99 a piece, so very affordable. I did a runtime bench test on this, turned the unit on, set it on the desk, let it go. Got got on the nose, 4 hours and 30 minutes exactly on each battery. So that's not a super long time on a single battery, But you combine them, you get 2 with it. That's 9 hours of runtime. Realistically, in the field, you're going to bring that down depending on your, temperatures. But in normal temperatures, I think getting 8 hours is very reasonable. Turning it off, turning it on, doing all that kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit more. Colder temperatures obviously bring that down. But what we're talking about is even for a cold weather hunter, if you bought one more battery, you're talking about a night of hunting. So that's really, really good because, again, with 2 batteries included. Let's keep going here. I'm almost done. 14.1 ounces is what it weighs. So a little under a pound. Dimensions are 6.3 inches by 3.5 inches by 1.97. So almost. So if we, kind of round that, 6.25 by 3.5 by 2 inches. Again, 5-year warranty, IPS 6.7 rating. That's fully waterproof, submersible to 3 foot for 30 minutes. And it is rated for down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Hans, give us the walk around of this baby.
So when we first learned about this, when Casey Cochran from InfiRay USA came on the show and we talked about the Finder FH35R, and we're all like, okay, what's this thing about? There were 3 things that he mentioned that really got me excited. The first one, obviously, was the price, $2,500 for all the features that Jason mentioned. Is fantastic. He also mentioned that we prefer 2-power base magnification. I love it. I think that is like you said, the sweet spot. That's my favorite starting magnification for a scanner, and the size. So I want to show you, first thing I'm going to show you is the battery that I was working this thing, trying to get it out of it while you mentioned that I was going to show it. You kind of put me on the spot there, but I'm showing this battery for you.
Sorry.
So yeah, because this thing fits snug in there. But anyway, I'm not even going to try to put it in here while I'm on air. This is the Finder FH35R V2. You can see, it's still somewhat compact. It's got a leather hand strap on it. Obviously a plastic lens cap. It's a magnetic lens cap that shuts closed and stays on there very well. You have your eyepiece diopter focus dial right here on the side, rubber eyepiece, 4-button layout on top. And I'll tell you, it does, and people ask this, and importantly so, this is a good feature. It does have a tripod screw mount place right there, so you can put it on a tripod. But the size was one of the things that really attracted me to this laser rangefinder. It's still somewhat small and compact on there. So being able to fit the 640 core in there with the laser rangefinder, with rechargeable batteries, and you're getting a great price. It does feel like a good quality unit. It feels well made. The buttons are spaced out, I would say, well enough to be able to maneuver through it at night with gloves on. They are raised up enough. And now, we'll talk about the buttons in a little bit, but all in all, it looks like looks very basic. It doesn't look overly complicated. And I will tell you, it's not overly complicated. That's one of the nicer features about it as well.
It's a very nice optic. I tell you, there's a lot going on here for a $24.99 price tag. Before we get into our overall thoughts, let's go ahead and do what we always do. Let's talk about our likes and our dislikes. Dislikes, I don't have a bunch. And by the way, you said one thing I was going to correct you on.
It's impossible.
I know. We actually had this unit long before we did our interview with Casey at the SHOT Show. At least I did, because remember I got this thing back in November. So yeah, forgot
you
about
get them
that
first,
part,
man. The boss gets them first.
Yeah, and then if they're really good, then I don't send them to him. So that's what happened.
Hans, that's okay, because
Hans didn't get to see it. Yeah.
That's okay, because I've got this Hybrid 75. I don't know if you can see it sitting behind me. I just did a review on my channel. He may not be getting that back anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the problem. I had that first, and when I sent that to him, I realized that's not coming.
I've been having too much fun with that thing.
$8,000 scope down the drain. I'm never getting it back. I know exactly. The man does not need a 4-power base mag, but I still can't get the scope back. So.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna pick on a few little things here, and guys, we always say this. We really say this when we're being nitpicky, and we're going to be nitpicky, or I'm going to be on this. I think in Hans, I think disagrees with me on this. So that's why I really have to give a disclaimer. I'm not the biggest fan of the eyepiece on this. There's just something about it that's not my favorite. When I look into it, I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's just the way my eye is. I feel like I have to kind of look around, and I don't know what it is. There's something about it. It's not my favorite. I will say that if there is a diva amongst us when it comes to eyepieces, it's Hans. He is.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I was like, I don't like the eyepiece on this. I don't. And he's like, no, this is fine. This is perfectly fine. I'm like, what? This is the one that I was kind of like, I don't know. And he's like, no, it's fine. So again, for whatever, I don't think it's a huge deal. It wouldn't stop me from buying it, but there's something about the eyepiece. It's not my favorite. I feel like I kind of really have to get my eye in there, but whatever. I think that again, that's minor. This is weird. The unit's really easy to use. There's only, 4 buttons on the top of it, Hans? I'm not holding it.
Yeah, 4 buttons. Yeah.
But I always found myself fumbling with those buttons. And maybe I just didn't use it long enough, but there's something about the layout that, or maybe it's not the layout, but maybe it's just the function. I don't know. We've sold a bunch of these and nobody has mentioned.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna say something here. This should be a like. All I'm going to say is that I just told Hans before we did this the number of these that we've already sold. And his eyes rolled back in his
still
head.
shocked.
And it's, yeah. So
and not because it's not a great unit, but because it's an astronomical number in a short amount of time.
It's an astronomical number to have these things for basically 1 month.
Yes.
And it's an astronomical number. Yeah. And we have not had, and gosh, I hate to say this because it's a jinx us when we do this. We have not had one defect, not one return, not one customer complaint. It's been unreal, the feedback. Now I know tomorrow, after this airs, I'll have 50 people call. But no, It's been really, really, really good to selling as many as that we have. So that's really good. Again, button layout. Nobody seems to be complaining about it. Just a little weird to me. Not the layout, but maybe just the function of them. It took me a minute to kind of figure it out. One thing that confused me, and it doesn't matter, but when you long press I think it's the up button, and that turns on the laser rangefinder, it automatically comes on in continuous mode, which means it's continuously, giving the range of everything you put the little blue box on, which is fine. That's how it ought to be. But if you put it in what is called like a single mode, it stays on the screen and you just press the button every time you want it to send, give you the range, which is fine. But the blue box still stays on the screen. So it's not like you turn it on, range, and it goes away. You either turn it on and the little blue range finding box is there or it's not. It's not a big deal, but I couldn't figure it out because a lot of the times these optics, the way they work is when you put it in like a single range mode, it comes up, you put the little box on the animal, press the button, and it goes away after it gives you the range after a few seconds. It doesn't do that. It doesn't matter. It's a handheld. It's not in your way. It was just something that was a little confusing for me to kind of figure out what's going on. It's staying on here. So it just stays on until the way you turn the rangefinder off is you short press the power button, and that just turns the rangefinder off, takes the blue box off. Mm-hmm. Again, no big deal. Mm-hmm. I'm digging, guys. I don't really have dislikes anything major more than that. Again, I kind of mentioned it in the specs. I know some guys have said, man, you're talking about 4.5 hours on a bench test on a battery. That's not very long. Well, I get it, but you're getting 2 batteries. And so the way that I look at it is, again, Hans showed you the battery. They're the size of a tube of lipstick or something. A roll of Lifesavers. It's not a huge battery. So it's not really cumbersome to carry the spare battery. And with those 2 batteries, for most anybody, again, maybe besides some of our very, very cold weather hunters, that's all night of hunting. And so to me, that's all that matters. If you got a night of hunting out there with that thing, and you ought to be good to go with the way it ships. So I really like that.
Yeah, I hunted with it in our the Conway Farms predator hunt. It was raining all night long, man. It was terrible weather. I used this, and I mean, I used it all night long. I did have to, in between stops, in between stands, if we were in the truck, I'd plug it in a little bit. But man, I didn't notice an issue with the battery at all. I'm going to give one negative and then I'll roll into the positive. So the hand strap on here, I am not good at solving puzzles, but this might be the Rubik's Cube of hand straps.
Well, don't give it to me then.
Yeah. So I had a couple people call like, how do you do it? So that hand strap,
because the hand strap does not come on the unit.
Doesn't come attached.
I never even used it on there. I never had it on there at all.
So we had somebody call like, we had somebody call like, hey, how do you do this hand strap? It's kind of confusing. Right. And I'll be like, you know what? Let me see, because I haven't even put it on there yet. So this was early on when we first got it. I had to take the fabric strap out of the leather. It actually pulls out of the leather part completely. And then you got to flip it around and then feed it back through. It can be done. It is almost like a puzzle, but you can figure it out. And the good thing is if you buy it from Outdoor Legacy and you have questions about how to do it, call me, because I'm a professional at it now. And I will definitely help you out. I'm the hand strap man. So I will say this, the positives. We posted a picture of this optic on the socials this week, Jason, and people are like, oh man, it's so big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Y'all, I don't know. This is one of the smallest laser rangefinder handheld binoculars on the market right now. And if you think about them, the ones that are on the market without naming any names, this is pretty small. If you turn it like this, it's like the size of the cabin. If you turn it vertical, it's like the size of the cabin, and that's with the laser rangefinder. So
yeah,
I'd say it's probably one of the smaller ones. There was a lot of people, Jason, that said, oh, it's so big, but it's really not.
It's really not. I mean, if you look at the dimensions, I mean, what I just gave there, I mean, I don't have that in front of me anymore, but the what is it?
Maybe it's just, maybe I have maybe the picture that I posted online with it, maybe my hand's just really small and girly and dainty.
Hands, exactly.
Made it look
I mean,
like
I don't know. It's what I call a full-size monocular, but I don't know. Doesn't seem that much bigger to me.
No,
I know. I didn't think it was a very big deal either, but I have seen some comments about that.
So
cool thing. Go ahead. You got some more?
Yeah, I'll finish up real quick. So again, I had it out in bad weather. I was pleasantly surprised about how well it performed in bad rain. I mean, did really well on great nights or good nights when it's clear outside. Very good picture image. You can't say that's what people want is, does it have good picture image? Is it built well? Yes and yes. Yeah. And I would say this optic is already a huge success based on the fact of what you've already said. The amount of people that have already purchased it, and the fact that we haven't got anybody call and say, hey, I've got a problem with this, or I'm having an issue. I mean, I
don't like it, or it's overhyped, or it's
that is the true measure of a successful launch of an optic. You will be seeing this at the end of the year when we do our best of thermal binoculars. I promise you that you will be seeing this a lot, probably. Mm-hmm.
So it's got a proximity sensor, which that is something that when you put it up to your face, you can have the unit where the screen will come on, and then you set it down, and it realizes that it's not up against your face, and the screen will shut off. A lot of people are always like, oh, it's saving battery. I don't really know how much battery it's saving, to be honest, but it is kind of nice that, like, if you're a guy that wears a lanyard or, however, maybe you got that thing just walking with it in your hand, you don't have the little screen on. So it's just one less light to have out there if you're out in the field. It's kind of cool. I like that. I mean, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it's cool to have it like that. Again, I think the image is a big deal. The fact that it has a laser rangefinder. There's a lot of guys buying this that like, I don't even need the laser rangefinder, but I just want everything else, and it's included with it. So I think the unit actually, we said this from the beginning, it's too cheap. I mean, they could have sold this same unit for $500 more and probably sold just as many. They could have taken the laser rangefinder out of it, and it would still be a fantastic deal right now at this price. So
and you make a good point, and I'm gonna say this: we've met with the guys at InfiRay Outdoor and InfiRay USA, and amongst other things, priorities for the years, they're making a big push for thermal binoculars, and they've already made some big pushes with some of the scopes that they've released, very popular models. They specifically said, we are going after the thermal monocular market, and they proved it at this price point. Going back to what you said.
Well, go at that price point and a darn good 640 image with a laser rangefinder, all these things. So they brought a really, really good monocular to the market. So I want to kind of move in here to kind of some overall thoughts. So just sliding right off of that, I think what they've done is they've disrupted the handheld market in the United States. And what I mean by that is, this is the monocular that people want to talk about. I mean, guys that call that have a $3,000 or $4,000 budget for a handheld say, hey, do I need to look at this unit? Do I need to talk about this unit? Guys that call that have a $2,000 to $3,000 budget say, hey, I need to look at this unit, right? I mean, let's talk about it. Guys that call that say, man, all I've got is a, man, I'm going to scrape up $2,000. Do I need to save up to go to the, so it's pretty odd and rare to see this happen where you get a monocular or any optic that is good enough to pull guys down and pull guys up and, just eat that market that price range that it's in. So it's really unique. So they've disrupted the market with this. Now, I want to roll into one more thing from that, and I want to say, answer the question that we're getting on a daily basis is all of us are talking to customers on the phone, and it's like, is this the only monocular that I should look at? Let's say that I have again, $3,000, $4,000 budget. I'm looking at some higher end monoculars. So should I just not buy those? And I would say this, the image quality for this unit is better than it should be for $2,500. Okay. I think it's a very, very great value for the dollar, especially with the laser rangefinder. I do think that there are some optics with better image quality. I think there are some nicer, just overall package from image quality and everything, monoculars out there that they cost more. And so I do think there's still a place for those monoculars in there. I think if this unit had come in at $3,500 or $4,000, that would be a different story. Okay, I think at that price range, I'm not saying it wouldn't sell, but I think it would be against some very tough competition there, and I think that would change things for it. So again, great value for where it's at. I still think there's other monoculars even in this price range that may not even be 640. Some of them are, some of them aren't, that the guys are still looking at and buying. There's a reason, maybe they want certain battery types. Maybe they just want a different design. There's, other brands. So I don't think this monocular, everyone has to buy it. And we've always said, like, so far, nobody's ever made a perfect thermal scope. The day they do, everybody else just goes out of business. There's one thermal scope. We never change it, and that's all we all buy from then on out. It's never going to happen. This is not the perfect thermal handheld, but I will say this. It's a darn good one with the quality, the features, and the pricing. They've kind of hit a trifecta there of it is a dominant monocular on the market. And again, I'm not saying anything here of don't buy this. I think it's worth considering other optics, and you may come right back and go, well, this seems like the best deal. And it is a really, really good deal. And that's why they're selling like they are.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And they're, when people call in and ask about monoculars, there's a lot of things to keep in consideration. Obviously where you're hunting, the conditions, the terrain, if it's cover or no cover, wide open, and budget. There's a lot of things to go through. And this is a good candidate for a lot of people. But like you said, it's not for everybody. And there's some other great monoculars on the market that are being sold in just as high demand as these, and continue, and they've been out for a while. So,
well, and one more thing, I've kind of harped on, I don't think the battery is a big deal, but it's rated to -4. We've got guys that, Hans, I don't understand it. I think they have got some kind of screw loose, but they're hunting in like -20. I'm like, I don't understand that. But you know what? This monocular is not for them. Number one, it's not rated for those temps. Number two, even if they able to use it in those temps, that's going to just suck those batteries down. So that might be an issue for some of those guys. So it's not going to be the perfect monocular for everybody, but I will say that it checks a lot of boxes for a lot
It does.
of people.
I mean, it does. It does check a lot of boxes, and it, like I said, super popular very early on. A lot of them sold. Haven't heard any problems about them, and they perform well. And I would say, just based on my experience with it, I mean, it would be hard to sit here and say, okay, if you're wanting this, under $2,500, it'd be hard to say that there's something else that would be vastly better than this. So if you're coming in with a budget, obviously, but you know what, if you are looking to purchase, and we did not mention this, we were in such a hurry to get into the show.
I've already been thinking
we're risking our business here. If you're looking to purchase a brand new thermal monocular, a brand new optic, whether it's the Finder, maybe you searched on this, you have no idea what the late night vision show is. You just search for the Finder and our video popped up. We hope that you've made it this far in the show. Based on analytics from YouTube, you may have checked out a lot fewer minutes that went by than this. But anyway, I'm getting all tongue tied. If you are looking for a brand new optic, give us a call, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. You can find all of the stuff on the website. You can call us. Many of you do. I mean, I would say the vast majority of people that call in say we watch the show, and that's fantastic, and we love it. And that's one of the reasons why we do it. We want to invite you to call us if you want to buy an optic from Outdoor Legacy. And you can do that a couple different ways. If you know what you want, you don't need to talk about it. You can go to the website, order it right off the website, or you can call in. Any one of the ladies that answers the phone can take your order right there over the phone. But if you need some assistance, if you need some purchasing guidance, you can talk to one of us. But again, 877-350-1818. If you are watching on YouTube, you want to check out our website, thelatenightVisionShow.com. We have all of our episodes there. You can also listen if you can't watch the videos, but you want to listen on the road or something like that. You can find us on all the audio sharing apps, the podcast apps of them out there, like Spotify and iTunes and Apple Podcasts and whatever. There's a bunch of them, but we're on just about all of them. I don't know one that we're not on. But please give us good ratings on there because it definitely helps us out. And then I would say stay tuned because if you like reviews, you're going to love the next several weeks of shows. If you're a technical person, or if you're trying to decide on an optic and you're just out there binge watching reviews, this is your heyday right here. So stay tuned on that.
Yeah, there is a lot of reviews. This is what we call review season. It's Aftershock show, and so many optics are here. There's some still coming in slowly. We've got a lot more reviews coming, and we're really, we like this time of year. We like doing it. We know some people get tired of all the reviews, but trust us, the dog days of summer will be coming, and we'll be wondering if there's anything out there to review, and we'll be just doing topic shows and answering your questions. And we got some other shows and stuff planned when it does slow down. But guys, listen, next week, more reviews. Good Lord willing, there's a lot lined up. So if you're interested in any of this new stuff and you want to see our opinion on how it actually functions and works in the field, give us a call. Or just stay tuned right here. The Late Night Vision Show. We'll be back next week. Hope to see y'all then. Between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields.